Hi, this is Juno and welcome back to another account review in Summoner's War. For some people that have really keen eyes, even with this small screen, you guys will notice that my face is a little redder than usual. Yes, I had a drink, so I'm a little tipsy right now, but I promise you that it won't hinder my reviewing process. Today we are on Kraken's account, and to be honest, this account looks a lot better than mine. However, the record does not portray that. So Kraken, I already looked at your runes and your box, and I'm going to tell you, I believe you could easily reach C3 in RTA, and also pretty easily G1 in regular arena. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys are interested in getting advice and help from me and other Summoners War players, feel free to join my Discord, where the link is in the descriptions below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to support me, become a Patreon, where the link for it is also in the descriptions. I want to say I appreciate all the support, and believe me, I really do. Anyways, that was it. Let's get back to the video. So Kraken, you've been playing for 736 days. Wow, that's an incredible record for these amount of days. I am going to kind of assume that you're a spender since there's so many LD-4s and LD, well, not so many LD-5s, but you do have two LD-5s. Your best score in regular arena was C3, so I'm pretty sure you want to reach the red star, at least G1, but I do think you could reach G2, maybe even G3. And then world arena C2, and I'm going to tell you that I believe, I'm pretty certain if you play your box right, you can reach C3 at the very least. Let's point something out because his GB12 team has a 16-second record. I checked out the ranking info, and what do you know? He is actually rank 5 in GB12. He's rank 25 in DB12. So those are all pretty damn awesome records. These records are no joke. So congrats on that. It's a first in my account reviews, so just wanted to point that out. So let's take a look at his box, because his box is pretty damn awesome. He has more units than me for sure. I mean, I don't know if he has all the units that I have, but I know that I don't have certain units that he has. I'm pretty sure that he has more units than me. I'm pretty sure he could run various of different teams. However, for his second turn AO team, I did notice there are some units that he is missing that might be really helpful. One being the Bale, the fire AoE damage healer for a second turn team, because he's currently only using Christina. And I think with Christina, there are definitely a few defenses you could hit, but there are defenses that are much better with Bale or even Linda, and he doesn't have both. So I hope you either pull that or you build the Linda. And Wind, he has double Leos. Here's his double nat 5s, LD nat 5s. So one is the Benedict, not the greatest. I personally don't think I would use him in RTA. I did see him in your box, so just take him out, because right now I think it's better to condense your box to go with a certain team to know what kind of team fits your playstyle and your runes. And I don't think Benedict actually is good enough to fit any first turn or second turn team. If you find a G3 player or even a high level player, let's just say, that is using Benedict successfully with like a 50, 60, 70% win rate, then sure, go for it, copy that team. But if you can't find that, then I don't think that you should force yourself to put this in your box. But Narsha, on the other hand, is a very, very good unit currently in RTA. I did notice that this is the same build you had in RTA, and this kind of tells me that you have a too big of a box and you are spreading out your runes too much. Because in RTA, I believe this Narsha should be much, much, much better, either having more HP, but no, I do actually believe she should be faster with more attack. So I hope you get to do that. He also has the Molly that he's not using, but that's about it. He doesn't have a dark nat 5. So let's go to his runes. And from his runes, I already know that he has a pretty high rune quality. So if you look at Swift slot 1, 27. It might not seem too high, but if you look at the first few 5, they're all 25. That's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. And then it goes down to 23. But the first 5 being 25 is actually a pretty strong slot. And then slot 3 is a little different. He has a 30, which is really strong, but then the next one is a 24, and then it goes down to 22. His slot 4 is a 28, 25, and then 24. This could be a 29. Oh, sorry, this could be a 29, because this is an ancient rune. So please farm that dungeon, because I would go for it, definitely. And then a 23. His slot 5 is a 25 and then 24. And then slot 6 is a 25 and a 24. So other than his slot 1 and slot 3, well, other than his slot 3, there isn't a slot that's extremely fast. Slot 1 is pretty fast, 27, and then slot 3, 30. But other than that, there isn't a really fast slot. Maybe you could argue slot 4 could be fast since, oh, he does have a 28 actually. 28, and then he also has the potential 29. If you look at Violent, 29 slot 1, that's really, really good. And then a 24, pretty weak slot 3, pretty weak slot 4, because I know that his highest is 22, like you see right here. So 22, then 21, and 20, really weak slot. So I would focus on your DB12 runes. And then 27 slot 5, that's a good rune. Then 26, and then slot 6 is a 26, 25. So other than your slot 4, everything seems fine, but I would work on to focus on improving that slot 4. Let's go to Will. 24, really weak compared to your other rune sets right now that we've seen. So I would work on your Will runes as well. 27, 24, 26, that's good. 26, that's good as well. And then another 27 if you get a legend. Here's 27 again. I would decide on a better grind. I don't think I'll go for accuracy unless you're sure that this is gonna always stay on Galleon, which I don't really like to do since it's a really fast will set. But yeah, it is understandable since you do use Galleon in a fast team. But if you're really going fast, I think you are having the belief that you're gonna move first, since then will is truly obsolete. You don't really want to be cut, so if you're moving first, I'm assuming that your team is going to all move anyways, and that will rune is just a lost stat or lost effect. 22, so that's a weaker second option, and then 27, 26. Yeah, so everything, when I see this, it looks like your Violent runes are the weakest since it has the weakest slot. That's what I'm gonna say. Work on improving that, and then work on improving your Will slot 1, because I think that's also pretty weak in my eyes. Now let's go to his arena and talk about it, because I do want to give him some pointers to reach G1 at least. So I did notice you're running the Carno, Triana, Darien, Abilio, and this is a good team. I have recommended this. It is really weak against Leah teams if the opponent has Leah. So if you do want to just ignore the Leahs and make sure you make the Leah team skip, you would put in a Leo here. But like I said, I did see the Molly, so I would actually just replace the Darien with a Molly. And with the 44 lead from the Carno, Triana being somewhat tanky with the 100 res, I do want more defense here, but okay, I'm not going to argue too much. It doesn't seem that bad. It should still get some wins. And then with the Abilio, I think I want like at least 5k more, but resistance being 100% is actually very, very good. So putting in the Molly here would actually not be bad, since it brings in that glancing chance, which is actually huge if you think about it. You know, this is a flat-on RNG that nobody has control over, and that is really, really big during Rush, because it actually happens so many times. It says 15%, but trust me, if their damage dealer is not on a 100 crit rate, the chances of it getting a glance is pretty damn high. Just gonna say that, okay? I did notice your arcane towers are not scaled up, so let's take a look at your towers. I just hope that's the only thing. So your guard stone and your crystal altar. So this is a very big no-no. Wow. Work on your towers. This is your first priority. Just getting this done will definitely up your defense rate. And then your offenses, like I said, you are running the second turn Christina team, which I think is good. Nothing for me to really point out, but I do see that Christina seems a little squishy, but I don't know. Defense being plus 500, maybe this is actually the borderline of 100k EHP, so maybe this is working. But you don't have another option for a second turn damage dealer, and this is where I think you should build a Linda, since it will allow you to hit different kind of defenses. Bale is my to-go. I think Bale is just really strong. I even started playing with Bale again, and I just think Bale is the best, probably the best second turn damage dealer in the team that I recommend. Other than that, you do have a fast team, but I noticed that you killed it. So here your Chiu is not ruined, and also your Tosi is not ruined. If you do have the Alicia, I'll run that, but it looks like you don't have that. So what is another good fast damage dealer? Actually, I'm not sure here. I'm not sure what would be good. Is this espresso cookie good? I don't know. If this guy is maybe on violent, it could be fun to use. but I really don't know. I also noticed that you have the Debra, and you had the Punk Bag, right? Ooh, you don't have the Punk Bag. Okay, so you can't go with that hard hitting Punk Bag team. Okay, so I understand why you're not using the Debra. Okay, let's just leave it like this for now. But I do think that you should, if you get a better AoE damage dealer, the one that I showcased in all my videos, then you should transition to that, because some defenses are better with the Bale and the Linda. You have a fast team right here, also that's not ruined. I would start using this more because I did learn that Xerxes' reset does not get affected by glancing apparently, so it's like a hard reset. It just doesn't have to get resisted. So I think the stat reset is really strong, and I would utilize it more. I actually started using Xerxes a lot more than Punk Bag these days, since Punk Bag is so inconsistent. Let's finally go into RTA. If you look at your record, the highest was C2 with 500 games. Past record was also C2 with 800 games. And if you look at now, you have 700 games, but you only have a 50% win rate, and you're in C1. Really, 50% means you're at the place where you should be at. But I want to disagree, since I already saw the rune quality and the box of this. I personally think that your box is just too big. I always emphasize 8 to 12 units when you start, but I believe your box could definitely handle more than 12 units, maybe 20, maybe 30. But right now you have 6, 6, 6, 6, 24, and 9, so it's 33 units. So maybe not 30 units, but 20 units at least I think you could run. So I would cut these off and focus the runes on your core units. Now, you did say you want to play around with Narsha, which I understand because Narsha is just damn too strong. So first things first, let's take out certain units. I know this can is against Leos, but you should definitely have better options against Leos. You don't have to make a specific unit for that. Although it is using a rage set other than a violent or a despair set, it is still taking some of these will runes that might be useful for other units. First things first, I didn't notice that Tsarina didn't have any skill up, so I'll take that out. Tomoe fits a certain team. If you're gonna run that control type of team, yes, you could use her. But I think if you want to focus on the Narsha, you don't have to use that. Benedict for sure, you don't need him there. So how many units are this? 6, 6, 18, 10. So 28 units right now. So let's assume you have a box like this. I want to focus your team around the Narsha and also like a speed lead with the Oliver, right? Because this has a strip, I believe. Yeah, it has a strip, so it does kind of go well with the Narsha. Narsha also goes really well with Riley and also the Nana. All the Beast Riders really go well with the Riley and Nana, since the Nana's revive will bring them back in the beast form and is technically having 2 lives again. Your first 2 picks might be the Masha and Oliver, but I do think your Oliver should be a little faster. Not that bad of a build, but I think HP is a little low. So this is what I mean by if you focus certain runes on certain units, it'll do a lot better. The easiest thing to do is to spectate battles with Narsha, high level battles with Narsha. I can't really give you the best advice since I do not have the Narsha. I never played with her. So if you go here, go look at the replays, go by monster, select the Narsha. You should be able to find these types of battles. Well, you don't have the Dark Heart Magician. So these type of battles, right? I mean, you could replace this other Wu Yang with another speed lead, but you could play these type of teams. Just look at the team comp and what they're bringing in. Well, that's a full-on LD. I'll spectate these battles and see how Narsha is being used. A really fast Narsha team again, so you have most of these units. Just replace the Wu Yang, maybe even the Samath, since you don't have Samath, I think. It looks like a lot of them are playing either a first turn type of team or a second turn type of team. And if they are going second turn, it looks like it is a combination of a fast type of control and also a Riley Narsha. Or maybe Riley is just to get more sustain and contest all this control coming in from the opponent. But Narsha really shines with attack buff, obviously, speed buff, speed leads. So I will draft the team around that, and you have all those units right here. You have Escher, you have Changpeng, you saw these, the Speedly, Sierra, Ethna, you have other Beast Riders, Masha, Oliver really strong right now. You have the Shizuka that we saw, you have the Ryu. So I did see Verta here, and it looked great in picture, but then I saw it was on Despair Revenge, so I was like, what the heck are you doing? Please play on Triple Revenge or Swift Broken, and just go with the Swift Vert teams, because I also think that would work well with your box. Your main team should have the best runes. If certain units are being stolen, then you should transition to the second turn type of team or your variant team, and that team should have your second best type of runes. But if you definitely have the first pick, I am pretty sure you have control on what type of team you want to bring in. If you're confident with your Swift runes, definitely go with the fast team. If you're confident with your Violent runes, Violent Will runes, definitely go with the second turn team. I think it's really a rune issue. There are still things that you could take out here, like Jogan. I don't know how much you'll play him. I barely think you'll play him unless you play a Swift Verd. Ken, yeah, I don't think is really needed here. So your box is getting smaller and smaller, and that means you can focus your runes more and more on certain core units that you want to play in your RTA team. Sorry I couldn't give you really clear advice in RTA, but again, you wanted advice for Narsha, and I think if you want advice on a certain monster that I do not have, the best thing to do is to spectate the games and look at what high level players are doing, because they will teach you on how to play that unit. But that was it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.